कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आंखों का पानी लिखेंगे, कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आंखों का पानी लिखेंगे, मिलके अब हम बड़े प्यार से जिंदगी की कहानी लिखेंगे।
कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आँखों का पानी लिखेंगे, कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आँखों का पानी लिखेंगे, मिलके अब हम बड़े प्यार से जिंदगी की कहानी लिखेंगे।
कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे,
कभी आँखों का पानी लिखेंगे।
सुर सजे ना सजे गुनगुनाते रहे, दर्द में भी सदा मुस्कुराते रहे।
एक दूजे की बाहों में बैठे रहे, साथ फेरों की रस्में निभाते रहे।
उम्र के इस हंसी दौर को हम वक्त की मेहरबानी लिखेंगे।
कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आँखों का पानी लिखेंगे। रात ढल जाएगी, दिन गुजर जाएंगे, अपनी पलकों पे सपने संवर जाएंगे।
खुशबू सांसों में आके समा जाएगी, गुल चाहत के हर सुख बिखर जाएंगे।
दिल के महके हुए गुलसिता पे धड़कनों की रवानी लिखेंगे।
कभी खुशियों की सरगम लिखेंगे, कभी आंखों का पानी लिखेंगे।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mind Body Connection. This is your host, Ken Rampersad, here in New York. Unfortunately, my co host is not here. She is in Guyana taking care of business for the Caribbean Voice. But definitely, she will be back next week in the hot seat, and together we will give you a good show, okay? So, guess what? Tonight is a special night. I'll be talking to a young man. He is in Guyana. The thing is about he's totally blind from a very young age, and he was able to complete his master's degree in Guyana. And he is a true advocate, one of the leading advocates in Guyana for the blind and for the disabled person. So I will talk to him in a couple of minutes. But before I do that, I just want to share a couple things with you that he says. You know, it's the culture that exists is that because you have a disability, you are supposed to be an object of charity and be dependent, and little is expected of you. But I saw the need for us to live a life that really projects a positive image of disability. Once we are able to do that, members of society will have no choice but to change their outlook of disability. And you know what? I want to share what I have to say about that. Because, you know, growing up in Guyana, A lot of times, you walk around, you go on the ferry, or you go around and you go to the market, and you see guys, those who are blind, they're sitting down with a cup and they're begging. But this guy has changed the outlook of people with those who are blind in Ghana, and I'm so happy that I'll be talking to him tonight. I hope the connection is all good. But we have some announcements, and one of them is, the online survey on social media that we use on the Caribbean Voice about suicide and abuse. You can always go to thecaribbeanvoice.org and get that information. The online petition call also on Guyana government to establish a registry for sex offender. The link to the petition can be accessed by clicking on the petition link on the Caribbean Voice page, as I said, caribbean.org. Also, donations for the school project in Guyana, computers and accessory, books and classroom supplies, art supplies, sports and games equipment. Donors, please, you can touch base with Alan Budram, myself, Shanaz, or any one of us from the Caribbean Voice. Also, I want to say Zarina in Trinidad and Tobago, who's partnered with us, the Caribbean Voice, she starts something in Trinidad, donation for a backpack project. Donors can touch base with Shanaz, myself, or Anan, and I want to talk to her. I will be talking to her later on this evening on the phone. What a good project she started there to change the poor little children who cannot afford to go to school. And that is something that's very important. Anytime you're investing in children, it's a great investment, and you don't know what a change you are making. Also, September the 10th, we have World Suicide Day, and we want to have vigil across the world. The Caribbean Voice is encouraging people across the world, if we can light a candle together at 8 p.m. on the 10th. You could be one person, could be 10 of you. We will have on the Caribbean Voice a special project where we are going to light our candle, and we will be talking to people across the world. Some of the places that is representing the Caribbean Voice. We want to work together to prevent suicide. So don't forget, if you want to have a vigil, please contact Anand Budram, Shanaz, or myself. We also want to welcome new members to the Caribbean Voice, and it's a good organization. You guys, you can make such a difference in saving someone's life. Also, I would like to say the Beacon of Peace, they will be having their little brunch on August the 17th at between 9 and 2 p.m., 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. at 9705 109th Street in South Richmond Hill. And they are doing fantastic job. They are charging for donation like $7 for a meal. And if you want to get there, just contact them, 347-557-5457. Again, let me give some shout outs to some of our ardent listeners. Priya Prasad, thank you so much for listening. Geeta Ramprasad is sitting in the audience, and Geeta Balde from Trinidad and Tobago. She said, good night, Kenneth. Rajiv Nandalal is here in studio. Polly Shamir, thank you so much for tuning in. Nayan, all the way from Ghana. Elizabeth Lowe. Neela Pawaru, I will be talking to Neela a little bit this evening, and she will tell us a little bit what she does for the Caribbean Voice, but it will be a little later because I'll be talking to this young man. Deepa Dasra, thank you for tuning in always. Deepa said you look sharp. Let's see, Suzette Alison Fortune, one of my friend. She is a Guyanese, but she's always been a true speaker, and she always speaks her mind. And that's one thing I really admire about her. She speaks the truth. Shakira Richardson, thank you very much. Arvinder Kedarnath, well, he is our DJ tonight. And as always, Juliet Dayal, thank you for tuning in. Sunny Narain, thank you, my brother. Our neighbor, Miss Debbie Roberts. Bibi Ahmad, all the way from Guyana. She is one of our leaders with the Caribbean Voice, and I know that she and Shanaz and the team from Guyana, they have done a fantastic job for the Concert of Hope last Saturday. I had a look on the live feed that they had. Also, we have Diana Chunilal locked in. Good night to every one of you, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Mind Body Connection, brought to you by the kind compliments of the Caribbean Voice And let's go with a nice song. And after that, I'll talk to you a little bit more about this young man all the way from Guyana.
What an idiot. God, what is he doing, God? Such a stupid basket.
ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ
ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਓਏ 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 ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ
ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ
ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਓਏ 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 ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਮੋਹ ਪੋਤੀ ਜੈਮ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਖਰੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਖਰੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਖਰੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਖਰੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ
ਉਹ 4 ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਉਹ ਬਿੱਤੇ ਤਨ ਹਨ ਰਾਣੀ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਉਹ 4 ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਜਵਾਨੀ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਉਹ ਬਿੱਤੇ ਤਨ ਹਨ ਰਾਣੀ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰ ਤੇਰਾ ਮੈਂ ਰੱਖਾਂਗਾ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਆਂਖੋਂ ਤੇ دیਵਾਨੀ ਆਹ ਆਹ ਓਏ ਓਏ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤੇ ਨੱਕ ਦੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ
Well, good evening, guys. Welcome again to the Mind Body Connection. This is your host, Ken Rampersad here, and I have with me on the line Mr. Ganesh Singh. Can you hear me, sir? Hello? Hi, Ganesh. Good evening. How are you doing, sir? Okay. Well, welcome to the Mind Body Connection. This is your host, Ken Rampersad. My co-host is not here tonight, so you'll be talking to me. After listening to your story, and I read a couple of articles about you, I was very impressed. And one of the things that really impressed me is that, from a young age that you became blind, and you have beat the odds, and you have completed your master's degree, I think is social work. Am I correct?
That's correct. I completed a master's in social work last year.
Yes. I was kind of, I'm interested to know, at what age, tell me something about your childhood. How was your childhood? And by the way, I heard that you are a good speaker, so that's a plus to me. I wouldn't have any problem talking to you, Ganesh.
I'm also into radio, so yeah. My childhood was a pretty normal one, for most part, because I knew that I had sight problems from very young, and at the age of 7, I started to wear very thick eyeglasses, and at some point in time, I knew that there was something really wrong with my eyes.
Right.
But for the most part, as I said, I really, really had a normal childhood. I grew up in the countryside. So I did all of the things that children in the countryside would do at a young age.
Yes.
That all changed, though, when I was diagnosed with glaucoma in 1997 at the age of 13. Actually was diagnosed when I went to the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And it really was diagnosed very late. So not much could have been done. So from 13 to 17, my sight just went rapidly, and I got blind at that around, let's say, 2001, just after I did CXC. So that is positive that came out of it. I was able to write CXC. Not fully thank it, but, I was still able to manage.
Oh, okay. So I heard that you did pass the common entrance in Guyana, and then you went on to St. Stanislaus College. And for my listeners, I want to tell you guys that St. Stanislaus College is one of the elite secondary school in Georgetown, Guyana. So I want to say that you did a good job. Tell us about your schooling there. And also, I heard that you did you did some CXC and so on. And how that turned out to be?
Well, let's just back up. I went to Helena Primary School.
Yes.
Which is one of the better primary schools on the East Coast at that time.
Yes.
And I had some very good teachers, especially at the common entrance level.
Yes.
I had Miss Eto. I had Miss Empathic, which most persons would know, were from the Mahika area. She was very well known.
Okay.
And, I had a good stimulation at that level. And I was able to come out successful to get in Stanislaus College. Being offered a place also at the President's College.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents and I decided for me to go to the St. Stanislaus College, and I went there for 5 years.
Okay.
I was doing pretty good, to be honest. In Form 4 and so on, I really found my footing at that point in time because I did something that I loved, like accounts and business and office administration and so forth.
Yes.
But when I went into fifth form, that is when the sight issues became more evident. I, had a lot of difficulties reading, writing, and studying. So from, let's say, the late 1999 to early 2000, it was a major period for me. It was very challenging, and at the time, in June of 2000, when I wrote CXC, I could have barely seemed to read on that paper. And I really didn't know what assistance was there that could have been afforded to me.
Yes.
But after my mom went and stand up with my results in the end of August,
Mm-hmm.
one of the teachers explained that, I could have had a reader and a scribe and so on. But at that point in time, I was somewhat in denial. I was under the impression that, it's just a phase and I will do some surgery after this and I'll get back my sight.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that glaucoma is the silent thief of sight.
Right.
Where, it just takes it and it doesn't return. I wasn't aware. I was totally ignorant of the disease at that time.
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you, because I know that in the United States, glaucoma, they could take it out and they could put in like bifocal lens in your eyes. Have you ever tried that before?
No, disease glaucoma is somewhat different from the other eye diseases like cataract or retinal detachment and so on.
Okay.
Glaucoma affects the eye nerves. So once the pressure builds up in the eye
Mm-hmm.
and the eye nerve damages, that's it. That's it. The nerves cannot be repaired. And that is why most of the technology that is out there today
Yes.
is not for people with glaucoma who lost their sight to glaucoma.
Yes.
There are laser surgeries and so on that you could do in the initial stages that will slow down the deterioration of your sight, once you capture it early.
Yes.
But as I said, I was unfortunate and my glaucoma was diagnosed very late.
Mm-hmm. So, guys, I think some of our listeners are not hearing you kind of clear, but I just want to let them know that I'm speaking to Ganesh Singh. Ganesh Singh became blind at a very young age, but he went on. He was able to continue his education despite that happen. But let me ask you, how your parents' involvement in you being blind, and how does it really help if your parents or your family is supportive of you?
Well, my parents, they were very supportive, and also my extended family. Some of them, they were also very supportive during my early years, and even when I lost my sight. Without that network around you,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really do much as someone who's blind. You need that support.
Right.
And I've had good support, and I still do have excellent support.
Oh, okay. Another thing that kind of caught my attention is this woman by the name of Miss Hamilton. that she made a big difference in your life?
That Evelyn Hamilton you're talking about?
Yes, yes.
Well, I met her a few years back because she sits on the National Commission on Disability as the chairperson, and I'm also a commissioner there. And, we work closely, and she also supported a few of the initiatives that I started.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
she's a pretty wonderful person to have around, and she's a great friend to the disability community.
That's good to hear. It's always good to have. One thing, Ganesh, I could tell you is that when you have people in your life who, and it could be total stranger, who is supportive of you and all that you do, it really does make a difference in people's life. And that's why I tell people sometimes it's good to be good, because you never know whose life you're changing and what one goes through.
And that is my philosophy, Kenneth.
Yes.
Do good. It's a simple philosophy. Do good and good will follow you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is how I serve God. I serve humanity, and that's how I serve Him. Because I don't have a lot of resources,
Right.
but what I have is a network.
Right.
And I use that network on a daily basis to assist people around me, people who are less fortunate.
Yes.
I will use my network to get benefits for them, and it's been working for the most part.
Yes, yes. What would be? I heard that you did a lot of traveling too around the Caribbean, and that is something that's commendable. How you managed to pull through this?
So that is something. Well, I love traveling. It's one of my hobbies, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to travel, not just within the Caribbean,
Right.
but to other countries across the globe. It is not that difficult because I'm used to it, and I've been doing it by myself most of the times, because you get excellent assistance from the airline support staff and also the staff at the various airports. I've traveled to India by myself. I've traveled to Kenya by myself.
India and Kenya.
So I've been to a lot of other far-off countries, Pakistan, Indonesia, England, and a lot of them I've done alone.
Wow.
So it's not that difficult, but it's I always tell people it's just a fear. Once you remove that fear from your mind,
Right.
and you go with a positive attitude, you can
Right.
really overcome a lot.
Ganesh, talking about positive attitude, I think, in my opinion and my mind, that it's always good to look at things in a positive way, because you know what, that's what happened in life, and you are the true example of when you look at the glass half full rather than half empty, that you can go very far in life. I mean, I'm seeing, and I've never been to India and Kenya and so on, but that's a good thing, and you are just a good role model for people to follow, especially in our beloved Guyana. What do you think?
Definitely, because as I said, and I've said to people, I've come to the point in my life where I consider blindness as a blessing, because the opportunities that I've got since I lost my sight, I don't think I would have gotten them being sighted, because I've been to about 17 countries so far.
Wow.
And most of them I've been multiple times. I've been in India 3 times. I've been in Indonesia, Pakistan. I've been to the U.S. and Canada multiple times.
Really?
Across the Caribbean, I've traveled extensively. And very few of those trips I have actually paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I'm involved with a number of organizations. And whether we have a meeting or there's a conference or something of that nature, because I attend a lot of disability forums, I've attended youth conferences and so on. Recently, I came back from a U.S. State Department training program and an NGO management program that I was sent to by the local U.S. Embassy here in Guyana. I was nominated for that program, and I completed a 3-week stint with the State Department at the end of May.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, your work is recognized and opportunities are created because of what you genuinely do as an advocate.
There's a stigma with people with disability, and I'm sure that you knows about it. And I'm wondering to know, have you ever experienced any of this in Guyana or any part of the world, and how you've managed to deal with the negativity concerning disability.
All right. I'm a very nice person, Kenneth, but I can also be very, very rude, and I can be very aggressive. And that is how basically I deal with the nonsense that, we have to deal with on a daily basis as persons with disability.
Yes.
When you go to some places, I do a lot of traversing around Georgetown regularly because of my work and all the things that I'm involved with. So I would go to the bank and a number of offices multiple times a week.
Yes.
And sometimes you go to offices, especially the ones that I don't go often.
Yes.
You would have personnel there, talking to you in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
If you go with someone, they will talk to that person and not you.
Wow.
Those things really get to me.
Yes.
And, I would deal with it in a very, very blunt and aggressive manner because at the end of the day, I'm a human being and I'm talking to you, talk to me, don't talk to who I'm with.
That's right.
And so there are instances, but a lot of times, it comes to the point in time, it doesn't affect me. It's like a joke almost because you face it so regularly, but for the most part, persons are very supportive and, you get things done. Sometimes my colleagues will tell me because I'm pretty well known, that is why I don't face some of the discrimination they would encounter. Like, for instance, every time one of my blind colleagues want to go open a bank account, they would ask me to go with them because the bank doesn't want to give them an ATM card.
Really?
Because they're blind.
Mm.
And there's no policy to guide that practice. So
Yes.
my question to them always, show me the policy that tells you can't give a blind person an ATM card.
Right,
And they
right.
can't produce it. So, over the next 2 days, I have to go with one of my colleagues for him to open up a account and get a card. So those are the little things that we encounter. And, you have to be an advocate almost every day. For not just yourself, but for the wider community of persons with disabilities.
Okay. So, Ganesh, I'm going to be playing a song now for our viewers and send out some greetings. Stay with me online and we'll continue this conversation. Okay, my brother?
No problem.
All right. Hang in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mind-Body Connection. I am speaking to the man himself, Mr. Ganesh Singh, who is a true advocate for disability in our beloved Guyana. Let's go for a song.
I'm not leaving, that's impossible to do. Cause if you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be cooking the way you do. You can't be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me. Come on. I don't know what to do, so I'm pleading. Plus you ain't give me no reason. You tell me this is the end of the season. Mash up everything, dress so. But you don't understand when you watch me. I said that's me that I win the lottery. How you go pick up just so and then dump me? No, baby, no. But you pack on me clothes in a garbage bag. You put it on the ground by the roadside. You tell me get out your place to come inside. Baby, don't do me that. You go break my heart. Can't believe you're ready to give up on me just so. Cause if you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be cooking the way you do. You can't be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me. No matter what I say, you are hearing. You say the love disappearing. On my drawer and cupboard you're clearing. Mash up with things, dress so. When I met you, Marsha, you tell me, hey, that is a trophy. So if you throw away the thing, it go hurt me. No, baby, no. But you pack on my clothes in a garbage bag. You put it on the ground by the roadside. You tell me get out your place to come inside. Baby, don't do it that. You go break my heart. Can't believe you're ready to give up on me just so. Cause if you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be cooking the way you do. You can't be hooking me. If you want me to
amount to spend, where you take care of the children. This should never end. But if you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be cooking the way you do. You can't be hooking me. If you want me to go, you can't be looking the way you do. You can't be walking the way you do. Because you're hooking me.
Well, good evening, guys. Good evening, and welcome to the Mind Body Connection. This is your host, Ken Ramprasad. Thank you for tuning in. To my friend Leon St. Martin, welcome aboard. Maureen, thank you very much for tuning in. Ganika Singh, let's see, Jamir Mohammed, thank you for tuning in. Maria Harris, thank you. Leon again. Wahida Ali, thank you very much. George, good night to you. Lee Nye, thank you very much. My good friend Tara Thomas was dancing. Thank you for tuning in. And John Nemot, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Let me see. I just want to make sure I get all of you guys. I really don't like to miss your guys' name, especially the next day when I'm looking to see who comment. So again, once again, welcome to the Mind Body Connection. Today I'm talking to Mr. Ganesh Singh. He is blind, but he did his master's, I believe, in social work. I'll talk to him about that. And he is a true advocate, a leading advocate in Guyana for people who are disabled. So Ganesh, one person asked, what's your master's degree in?
All right, I got my master's in social work. I completed that last year at the University of Guyana.
Oh, okay. So guys, John, he did his master's in social work. Welcome, our president, Mr. Anand Budram, is locked onto. Thank you very much. So let me ask you, now that you are, you are a leader in this field, in disability, and a true advocate, what advice do you have for people of, like, those who are younger people than yourself, who's blind or who can't walk? What advice do you have for them?
You know, as I always tell them, do not allow anyone to hamper your progress and your development. Your life is in your hand, and you're in charge of your upward mobility and your future. I've seen too many cases where young persons with disabilities want to pursue academics, they want to socialize, they want to get employment, but they're unable to do so because of family and relatives around them, stopping them from having a normal life because they feel they will be taken advantage of or they can't do it. So I always tell them, you know, the sky is the limit, and do not allow anyone to tell you different.
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm saying you can achieve once you set your mind out to it. There are challenges, but you will be able to overcome them.
And that's a good advice.
Right.
Good advice. And I just want to add on that to Ganesh. You know, we are born in this world, and the way I look at things, we are born in this world, and we don't ask for anything. We are not asked to be blind. And so it would be very nice if those of us who have vision, those of us who doesn't have a disability, can be much more kinder to those who have a disability, if you know what I'm saying, right?
Definitely. And, you know, as we always say, persons with disabilities, they just need your support. They don't need your charity per se, or they don't need you to patronize them. Whenever needed, give them your support. Give them a helping hand to, you know, help them chart that course for a better life. We have gone to the level where we no longer see persons with disabilities as objects of charity.
Right.
As you would know, Kenneth, and most persons that are viewing your program would know, over the years, disability is synonymous with charity.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of disability, you think of a man begging on the street.
Yes.
A blind man begging, or someone using a wheelchair begging. But it's no longer that way. Persons with disabilities are lawyers, they're doctors, they're politicians. You know, they're in all positions and all spheres of life. So don't look at them that way. Just provide the enabling environment, provide them with opportunity, and support them along the way, and they will excel. They will no longer be dependent on you for help.
That's true. That's true. I want to say, Ronetta, thank you very much, Jeffrey, for tuning in. I see my cousin Baba is listening from Berbice. Welcome to Jay Mitchell to our program, listening for the first time. My good friend from Baltimore, Bharat Paramdeo, thank you very much for tuning in. Varshini Kedarnath is in. Rupert Jaglal, thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Connection. And I want to ask you guys to please share this page. This is a very informative program. Always we look forward to help people. So, what is your proudest moment for you in Guyana for all the things that you're doing? What people would even go on to say? I know that guy, Ganesh Singh, and he did this and he did that. What's your take?
I've achieved so much, but my main achievement, Kenneth, is starting the CXC program where persons who are blind or visually impaired, young persons, are able to get a second chance for a better life. Mm-hmm. And that is my biggest achievement, and I've seen the results. When our program started, it started with 10 young people with disability who are blind or visually impaired that were like 15, 16, 17, even in their early 20s. Mm-hmm. These are persons who the education system failed them over the years. So they were home, not doing anything, but being very intelligent. Mm-hmm. And when that CXC program was started in 2013, mm-hmm. and the first batch wrote CXC in 2014 and graduated.
Wow.
And the top student, she got 5 grade 1s from the 5 subjects she wrote.
Wow.
Being blind. Those are the moments I feel proud because of the program I started that was able to change so many lives. And from since then to now, 37 persons with mostly blind and visually impaired and some other disabilities have graduated. And these are people, as I said, who would have not gotten a second chance at writing CXC or even moving on to any other level. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. 17 of those persons out of the 37, they've moved on to the University of Guyana or the Serpent College of Education.
Yes, yes.
Some have already graduated with their associate degrees, their diplomas, and their bachelor's degree.
Yes, yes.
Some have already gained full-time employment. So, that is my biggest achievement and one of my proudest moments with the first batch. When I got the results for the first batch, I was ecstatic.
Wow.
Personally, having my master's, is something that I'm really satisfied about. And, not over the moon, but I'm really happy because I always wanted to have my master's level degree, so that I can have that level of qualification because you have the experience.
Right.
But, as they say, the paper is what matters.
Right. Listening to you, you are so articulate, and it just shows that, you can't hold a good person down. And despite whatever someone is going through, whatever disability, no matter whatever you want to be in life, you can be. And you are the true example and a role model, actually, for all of Guyana. Because when I was reading your story, I was very impressed that, there is nothing can stop anyone from doing all that they want to do. They are just the barrier for themselves. And you are a true person to show that no one have any kind of excuses to move on and to go do all what they want to do in life, right? I have Roxanne Hamilton locked on. Ryan Can just tuned in. Nalini Dunpal, thank you for tuning in. And my friend Tara Thomas, she is from Jamaica, but living in Florida, she said, what a blessing. And talking about blessing, it is truly a blessing to be chatting with you. And I'm sure that you are a blessing to so many other young people in Guyana. You are a true role model. And it is so nice that, you can help young people. And when you said that one of your students get 5 grade 1s, that is astounding. That is great. And you have to feel good about these kind of things. My next,
Definitely.
yeah, you know what, and that's a good thing. I have to ask you to another thing. Do you think that the government is doing enough in Guyana to help people with disability? And the other thing is that how involved are you actually in that?
All right. I'm a very prominent advocate, and I've always been advocating over the past, let's say, about 13 years for the rights of persons with disabilities. So I've advocated to, had meetings with ministers, the presidents, the last 3 presidents we had.
Really?
I've had meetings with a number of influential persons. I would say from the time I've been in advocacy, disability advocacy, we could have seen a lot more from both the present and the past government in relation to disability. Because we still do not get the kind of support that is needed from our policymakers. Only today I was having this discussion with someone, and, we were talking about the financial circumstance of most persons with disabilities. Most of them are forced to live in poverty because the education system failed them. Even if they're qualified or they have a skill, they can't get a job.
Really?
And, they have to depend on $9,000, which is $45 a month, to survive. So, we were talking that the government of the day, where we don't know what the elections will bring, whoever is in power needs to develop disability grants where persons with disabilities
Yes.
can be given a lot more financial support. But any government that is in power can do more, and they need to do more, not just token gestures where you give a couple $1 million or you do a program for persons with disabilities. We want to see policy changes.
That's
We
right.
want to see the contents of the Disability Act being implemented. The Act was signed into law since 2010, the 2nd of November, the Disability Act. And so far, we've seen little progress in its implementation. Recently, in January of this year, we've seen two significant pieces of legislation amended, and one is for the amendment to the Excise Tax Act. And it's now persons with disabilities are able to import vehicles without paying the exorbitant duty.
Yes.
So they can bring in their accessible vehicles and so on, which is a major step. Those are the policy changes we want to see. And also, there was an amendment to the Value-Added Tax Act,
Yes.
where VAT was removed on mobile devices for persons who are blind and deaf,
Yes.
so they can have their smartphones, because these phones are accessible. They have built-in features
Right.
that enables persons who are blind to use them.
Right.
So, those are 2 big pieces of legislative change. And we want to see a lot more. We want to see improvements in the education sector.
Yes.
Where a lot of children with disabilities can have a much more holistic support system around them, to enable them to have a more meaningful education, not just in Georgetown, but in all the nooks and crannies of Guyana, wherever children with disabilities are. They must be able to have that guarantee that they will get a meaningful education. We want to see more employment creation. I was talking also today that the government can, whoever the government of the day is, can implement a quota system where a percentage of their employees, whether it's in the ministries or the government agencies, a percentage of them should be persons with disabilities who are qualified or skilled to do the job.
Yes.
So in that way, you create employment. So there's a lot that we can see, and there's always room for improvement.
Right.
When it comes to the government of the day and policymakers. But we are seeing some progress, but not as big as or significant as we would like.
Okay. Listen, I have, I was looking on my page and I see this young man, Uttam Kumar Isardeen. I think you probably should know him. He actually is
Yes, I know him.
You know him? I unfortunately I have to tell you, I've never heard your name, but after reading your thing, your bio and so on all it, I really did Google you and see. I want to know who I'll be talking to. I said, let me do this reading and research. And I was so impressed with you. Also, this other young guy, he's in a wheelchair. And I've been following him for a long time. And I really admire him for all the things that he's doing for himself. He's racing, he's riding, and you know what, he's showing too. Another young man that, you know what, despite he's disabled, he is contributing in his own way. I know that he have a young son that he's, like I say, and I had a word with him this week, he's nurturing his young son to play cricket. And I said, you know what, I see great things for his son. We will be playing another song, Ganesh. Bear with us. The viewers, they love what you were saying. I have a question. Let me see. Miss Priya Prasad from Guyana, she says, I have a question for him. What method he used to study for all the exams he have mastered thus far? So after the song, I'll repeat the question and you can answer it, my brother. Okay?
Okay. Life of a vanity. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. And when you're sleeping on the cold concrete, broken, hungry, now no food to eat. Work on 7 days of the week, and only have one shoes on my feet. Remember, time is the master, and Jah is my provider. Real wealth is health and strength. Don't be no suicidal. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. When all hope is lost and your back is against the wall, never giving up, no, never giving up. And when you feel like you're all alone and you're traveling the rocky road, shall we lift you up? Shall we lift you up? Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. No. Life over vanity, love for humanity, more love music, represent for every nation. Life over vanity, love your life, live your life, love your life. Life over vanity, love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Love your life, live your life, love your life. Not because you're broke, you're gonna hate your life. Because you're poor, you want to end your life.
Yes, welcome to the Mind Body Connection. Welcome to the Mind Body Connection. This is your host, Ken Rampersad. Yes, my friend Tara Thomas, you know I got a little Jamaican in me. So you said love the mix up of the music, and that singer is G Mac, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica. And guess what? He is an advocate for the Caribbean Voice, a non-profit organization that deals with suicide prevention and domestic violence prevention. So this is a great guy. He's an asset, certainly, to the Caribbean Voice, like all of us do. And so I'm so glad I'm reading so much things about him. So yes, Tara Thomas, he is all the way from Kingston, Jamaica. Lena said, Kenneth, you look really cool in red. I think you listened to that song, Lady in Red. My Lady in Red, all the way in Guyana. So she'll be back. And my brother Leon says, my enough respect. My brother, I enjoy your program. And this is the thing that we really want to do. The Caribbean Voice this is what we want to do. We want to bring programs to you where you guys can enjoy it, and it could be a lesson for you in life and help you move along the way. John Namet, thank you very much. The song says, love your life, and you have to love your life. If you don't love it, nobody else will love it. You know what I'm saying? And again, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, nobody else will love you the way that you can love yourself. Nalini Naidu, thank you for tuning in to the Caribbean Voice. I have to say thank you very much for all of you for tuning in to the Mind-Body Connection here in New York. So, my friend, I'm going to ask you again, in what method you learn?
All right. I use strictly electronic means to study and for my work. I've learned to use the computer with a screen reader software called JAWS.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that everything that is on the computer screen is basically translated into audio for me.
Oh, okay.
And there are special commands. So I'm able to do my email,
Really?
Facebook, all the social media, Google, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint.
Yes.
Most of the regular applications that you're able to do as a sighted person, I'm able to do that with a computer. So all my handouts, textbooks, and so on, I get them either digitally, digital copies, or I scan them and get them in a digital format. And I'm able to read them with the software. So I always have a headphone plugged in when I listen to those things. And that's how I take my exams also. I touch type. So I type pretty fast.
Really?
It's a regular keyboard. It's not a braille keyboard.
Okay.
And most of my colleagues use the same. Basically, we learn the keyboard in our heads. And after a while, you just touch type. You don't need to look at the keyboard, even if you're sighted. So that's what we do. We are very good at touch type, and that's how I'm able to cope. So all my exams, all my studying, everything is done electronically on the computer. The computer is basically my office. I have all my documents, all my files, everything for work and everything for school is on my laptop.
That is so interesting. I see my friend Priya, thank you very much for that question. Liz Poderman, thank you very much for tuning in to the Mind-Body Connection. And so, that's a good thing. And having you in Guyana, dear, that where the need is, it's really an asset. And I'm hoping that you continue to do this and be a source of inspiration to the younger generation that's coming up. They don't have to be like years ago where you're blind. You just sit in one seat. I also learned, my friend, that you are a cricketer. Talk to me.
Yes, cricket is one of my passions, to be honest. And cricket really provided a catalyst for where I am today.
Really?
Because after I lost my sight, and I'll back up a little and provide some history.
Yes.
After I lost my sight at the age of 17, I was not aware of what existed out there for me and what I could have done as a blind person. So I was lost, and I became, I'm sure, I was in a depressive mode because all the symptoms and everything were there. I have strong faith in God, and I used to listen to a lot of music. That is how I went through a period of 5 years. I went out of my house very little on very few occasions, and most of the times I isolate myself from friends, and I'm just home. When I heard of blind cricket in late 2005, and I was introduced to it in January of 2006, it really opened up so many things in my head. And I got involved because I used to play cricket at a youth level, when I was a teenager, although I used to wear thick glasses. I used to love the game, and I used to play hardball cricket. And, I started, when I went to my first session of blind cricket, I did, I fell in love with the game, and from then I never looked back. I played my first regional tournament. I played for Guyana in the first ever regional tournament in 2006 in Barbados.
Wow.
And I was selected to the West Indies team subsequently. So the first West Indies team that was selected in my cricket, I was part of it. And we went to tour Pakistan for the World Blind Cricket Cup.
Wow.
In December of 2006. So I played internationally, and I played for West Indies on other occasions too. My last stint with the West Indies by cricket team was in 2017 January, when we went to India to play the World T20 Championships.
Yes.
So I'm still actively involved in my cricket. It's not a professional sport in the sense that you get paid. It's something we do on the side, but it is something I really love.
Wow. But I have to ask you, how you see that ball, my friend?
All right. It is all about listening.
Okay.
You know, being blind is all, your life is so dependent on the auditory pumps. So
Right.
it's all about listening.
Okay.
And the ball is a hard plastic white ball.
Okay.
It's the same size as a regular cricket ball. And it's hollow inside and has about 8 or 9 iron beads, you know, the bearings that use the bicycle balls.
Yes.
That is what. So when you roll it, we bowl on the hand.
Okay.
And when you roll it, you're able to hear it. The team is not comprised of strictly blind persons.
Oh, okay.
You have persons who are partially sighted and some who are partially blind. So the ones with some level of sight would be the boundary riders and the wicket keeper and the persons to provide that directions to the ones that are blind.
Right.
But everybody feels, everybody bat, everybody bowl,
Yes.
and it's done very, very competently. So a lot of people picture in their head is that you have a number of blind persons running on the cricket field and it's a lot of clumsiness. No, it's not. It's done very, very effectively, competently, and you'll be amazed if you see one of the games that it's actually a blind person running behind that ball, picking it up and throwing it to the stumps.
So,
You know, it's really...
you amaze me with your talent, and I think that I was reading one of the articles, and you are totally blessed. I can tell you that you are blessed beyond measures, because a lot of people who have their and this reminds me that so much people have their sight and they're not making good use of it, and here it is, a young man who is totally blind have accomplished so much and is doing so much for himself, humanity, and his family. So apart from cricket, what's your other hobby?
As I said earlier, I like traveling. When I get time, I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. I love novels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when I have the time, but of recent for the past year, because I'm currently doing my postgraduate diploma in education, where I'm qualifying myself to be a lecturer.
Wow.
I haven't the time, and then with my work commitments and so on.
Yes.
But I like reading audiobooks or listening to them. I like traveling. Cricket, as I said, and I like hanging out with friends, meeting new people.
Yes, yes.
So I do have a very active social life. I hang out and go to the various bars and various spots and just chill out. I have those times.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a beautiful thing. I heard that you were, in fact, as we're talking, I believe that sometime in the near future, I may be talking to you as one of the minister of people with disability. What do you think about that?
It's a thought that crossed my mind a few years back, to be honest. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yes.
If it ever happens, it happens, but I would always represent my people, and my people are persons with disabilities. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, your social status, your financial status. Once you have a disability, I will try my utmost to assist you in whatever way I can. And, I am apolitical, as you say.
Right.
Because with my work and my advocacy, whichever government is in power of the day,
yes,
we need to work to benefit the disability community. So I always say I'm apolitical. And I call a spade a spade. And when it comes to disability, I try not to have an opinion on many other issues, but I speak on disability.
Okay. Let's play. We're gonna send out some greetings. I know you finished your test or exam, or you finished studying, or you still have to study later tonight.
I will put in some studying because I have an exam in a couple of days too.
Oh, okay. So let's play some song. I'm going to read out some, I like to say hello to some of our viewers here. And so hang on for me a little bit, okay?
That's fine.
Yes, and so now we have, I see little Mohani is watching us all the way from Hartford City, Connecticut. I want to welcome, let's see, Deepa says, let me see, that got away from me. I tell you, this screen is moving and it's hard for me to pick up some names. Deepa said to welcome somebody on the program and I can't see it where it is. But whomever it is, I want to welcome all of you to this program here tonight, the Mind-Body Connection. It is our goal that we bring a lot of information to you guys. At the end of the show, I will be talking to you how you can deal with people who are blind, who are visually impaired. Okay, let's go for a music now.
Since I win the Mona can buy a motor car, she keep calling me number. She went so far to even send me a picture. Tell me, girl, if it's gas in your brains, like you have no shame. Just remember, I am stupid again.
Well, this is an unexpected one. Omar Doc alongside Bungie Garlin, Maha Studios. Watch it!
If you know a gold digger and she love your motor car, if you know a gold digger, hold on. If you know a gold digger and she love your motor car, if you know a gold digger, hand in the air. Since I win the Mona can buy a motor car, you keep calling me number. You went so far to even send me a picture. Tell me, girl, if it's gas in your brain, like you have no shame. Just remember, I am stupid again. I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover? I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover?
Well, watch that now. How you want me know that my life it change over? Why your eye get bright every time I drive and pass the Range Rover? From the time it parked, this girl get hot and she was straight over. Till it reached to the point where she want me to join and go up on the gay sofa. Whoa, watch that now. Oh, watch that now. Baby, why you want me now? Hey.
I used to watch you and grieve. I used to wonder if I have you for a friend or a lover. After you beg, you turn me down. You say I'm not the one, and if you're with me, you go kill me with honor. So when you start texting me, I find it funny. This is the same man you didn't want to see. I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover? I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover?
Watch it now. Y'all make this choice. Do you want this boy or do you want the boom boom boom? Or you want this grace or you want that bass on the thing that boom boom boom? When we did walk far before we had car where they want no room room room. Bungie, oh my dad, you said none of that. You taking off zoom zoom zoom. Oh, watch that now. Oh, watch that now. Just look how you want me now. Hey.
I send you flowers and give her right love letter. Girl, you reject everything that's an offer. And every time we have to talk, you put me in a spot where you go take me for a real laughing stock. Is why I'm still in a shock. Believe it or not, to say you die for me no matter what. I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover? I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover? If you know a gold digger and she love your motoka, if you know a gold digger, hold on. If you know a gold digger and she love your motoka, if you know a gold digger, since I win the Mona can buy a motoka, you keep calling me number. You went so far to even send me a picture. Tell me, girl, if it's gas in your brain, like you have no shame. Just remember, I am stupid again. I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka? Which one of we is your lover? I want to know, Sarika girl is me or me motoka?
Welcome to the Mind Body Connection, guys. This is your host, Ken Ramprasad. We just had an emergency on the phone, and so we got cut off, but I'm going to get him back. I see Marlon Jaikaran just logged on from Guyana. Lenai, thank you very much. Sunny is on. Elizabeth Lowe, thank you. She said, nice tune. John from Queens, thank you very much for locking in. And, John is doing a fantastic job in capturing all the events actually here in New York. You can check him out, John from Queens. He's having all of our episode on YouTube. Also, any program you want to see, you check in YouTube and you will get this man there with all our program on it. Roxanne Hamilton, thank you very much for tuning in and to stay with us here. Let's see, Sunny again. Thank you very much, Sunny. I want to say thank you very much, guys, for all of you. Champa Siram, thank you very much for tuning in to the Mind Body Connection here in New York. Rajiv Nandalal, Michelle Gafour, thank you very much for tuning in. Navin, all the way in Guyana. My sister Anita Dowlat Ram from Canada, thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you guys online here listening to our program. Again, tonight we are talking to a beautiful young man, Ganesh Singh. He's all the way from Guyana. And what causes us to talk to him on this program is as a young age, from 17 years old, he became blind. He went on to do his master's degree in social work. He also plays cricket for Guyana internationally. So he have done so much and exceeded so much, and he is such a role model for the youngsters who are disabled in Guyana. So we have to thank this young man, and please go ahead and type some good messages for him. Very articulate young man. So we are trying to get him back online. Ganesh, so you are back online. So my next question to you, your hobbies. What are some of the hobbies, the awards that you receive? I believe that you got an award from the Caribbean Voice sometime a year or two ago.
Yes, the Caribbean Voice Award actually started a whole flood of other awards, to be honest.
Yes.
It was one of the first awards to recognize the work that I do, and it's one of the awards I really hold close to me because of it's the first award really to recognize my work holistically. Mm-hmm. So I must thank Mr. Anand Bodram and esteem at Caribbean Voices for recognizing my contributions to the disability community. And subsequently, I got an award. The same year, I was one of the recipients of the Youth Award of the Year from 2017. I was also the National Sportsman with Disability 2017, but I got the award in 2018. Mm-hmm. So I was the National Sportsman with Disability for 2017 because of my exploits with blind cricket. I did very well in India. So those are 3 awards. I was also awarded in 2018. Mm-hmm. I got an award. It's called the Commonwealth Light. The award. It's the award from the Queen.
Wow, beautiful.
So I was nominated by the British High Commission here in Guyana, and so I got the Commonwealth Point of Light Award in 2018, and another award by the Queen. So I've gotten those are my 4 major awards. I've gotten other smaller tokens of recognition and appreciation and so forth, including some of my trophies and that from sports. But those are the 4 that really stands out.
That's beautiful. And in my opinion, I've always tell people it's always good when people recognize you for the work that you do, and that it's a good thing. I say it's a fuel to go ahead. Before I continue, I want to say hello to Ronita, and she want to send out greetings to her in-laws, Patsy and Sydney, all the way in Florida. So Patsy and Sydney, Ronita is saying hello. She want to say hello to you guys, okay? So, the other thing is that I want to ask you, that as I was reading, how did you manage to make yourself so independent? What have you done to start on this journey to be independent?
It's just being myself. And as I said earlier, I've always been a positive person, and I always have goals for myself. And one of those goals is to be as independent as possible as I can. Because, if you have so many things to do, and you have to depend on someone to help you to do each one of those tasks, you would never get much done because, it's very difficult to have to wait on people to get things done. So that's one of the real driving force. And then if you want to be a person that is very active and you have a disability, you cannot be a dependent person. So, I travel all across Guyana because of my work. I travel to Essequibo, I travel from Georgetown, get to the Perica Stelling, get on a speedboat, get to Superdam, get in a car, and go do what I have to do when I return. All by myself. I go to Burvis, Linden, because of my work. And, it's you must and you have to be dependent if you want to do all that I'm doing on a daily basis. Only last week, I was telling a friend, we were talking about I need to take it easy. And, we were basically analyzing the things I do on a daily basis. And, sometimes I do 3 people's job.
Really?
To be honest, because of the amount of work that I do. And I can't do it if I wasn't independent.
Yes.
So, the drive to be successful, the drive to make a change is what really forced me to be independent. And at the same time, I don't ever want to be a dependent person.
Wow. And that's a great mindset you really have there, Ganesh. And I'm sure that will take you through. And before I forget, I want to say hello to Patricia K2, who is in Guyana. Dowlat Dolores Sigobin from Hartford City, Connecticut. Guess what? I was talking to my cousin, and she says that you and her was in the same class in Saints. I am not sure if you will remember her. Her name was K2. That's a long story.
Yeah, I think I
Seema
remember,
K2. Seema K2.
I now remember her, yes. I remember her very distinctly.
Yes.
Small world.
It is a small world. She's all the way in St. Lucia there too. I see that you in the Guyana, the Blind Cricket Club for Guyana, the society, you in a lot of organization from what I see. Also, I see that you...
Go ahead.
I see that you are you have a radio program, my friend.
I have 2 radio programs.
Really?
I have one with the Radio Guyana that I do every weeknight from 7 to 8 p.m.
Wow.
So that's Monday to Friday, 7 to 8, and it's all disability focused. And I do one on NTN radio every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9.
Yes.
Again, with a focus on disability.
I see Ganika said, very impressive, Mr. Ganesh Singh. Lena says, I must say I'm so proud of you, Ganesh, for being who you are. You are a true hero. Keep up the positive thoughts. God bless you in abundance, she said, hon. Let me see.
Well, thank you very much, viewers, for the kind words.
Yes. Welcome Roy Sugrim to this program. He says, Ganesh, keep up the good work. And I see that you will do great things. Number one, I believe from talking to you, the sky is the limit. And I would not doubt in the near future that you will probably be the Minister of Disability or of some nature, because number one, I make you laugh, right? You are articulate, you are brilliant, and you are a true advocate for all those who really needs it. And it's a good thing that you look at your glass half full rather than half empty. I don't know what else you want to tell me. One thing I forget more to ask you. With the free laptop that they had in Guyana, did that help you in any way?
In a major way.
Really?
Because here why. I'll tell you a short story and then we'll wrap up.
Okay.
When that program was launched in 2011 by former President Jack Dale, I went to the launching, and I was one of 2 persons that asked him. I was the second person to ask him a question. And I stood up and asked him, how can my community of persons with disabilities benefit?
Right.
And that was at the National Convention Center here in Guyana. And he said, definitely your community will benefit. And I will have my project manager speak to you at the end. And then
Yes.
at the end of the ceremony, his project manager came to me, and from then, I had a working relationship with the One Laptop family,
Yes.
and I was able to get laptops for disabled persons I would say over 500 persons with disabilities
Really?
benefited. And most of them also got training.
Yes.
And because of the training I provided to persons who are blind to use that computer,
Yes.
because I provided the training also,
Yes.
I was able to identify the young people who are blind that were intelligent, and that's how I got the idea to use computers to deliver the CXD syllabus.
Yes.
So because of that One Laptop a Family program, and my work with that program, the idea for the CXD program was really born. And, I had a continuous relationship with them, because every year when we had a new batch of students for the CXC, we would get laptops, and they also provided technical support with their IT guys for our CXC program. When the new government came into being in 2015, whatever laptops they had remaining, they did give us, and they continue to provide the technical support
Wow.
for us. Now, well, there are no longer any laptops there, but recently we got a significant donation of tablet computers from the Minister of Telecommunication, the Honorable Cathy Hughes, so that we can use that for our CXC program too.
Yes, yes. So, Ganesh, I could not believe that we are into 1.5 hour into our program. And I know you told me that you want to talk only for 1 hour. And I'm so glad that you drawn it out with me, because we were planning to talk for 2 hours. But I want to read you 2 more comments. Ganesh saying, you are a blessing not only to those that visually impaired, but for all being. You are best at the only version of that exists. The sky is the limit. Sunny says, for all of us, we are the people. We don't need to give someone with disability money to show that we are doing something. The time we take to do something for them is precious. And so, my friend,
That is so true.
I know you want us to wrap up the program, but I want to say, on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview on the phone. I know it's not easy, and I wish you all the very best in all that you do. And I know our relationship hasn't ended here. We will continue to talk moving forward.
Definitely. Anytime you want to have a conversation, just let me know, and we can arrange that. And I want to thank you very much for having me on the show. It was a wonderful opportunity that I got to be able to speak to your viewers and listeners.
Yes.
And I want to thank Mr. Anand Budram for his work he's doing here in Guyana, and especially in the areas that nobody wants to do anything in, to be honest. When Caribbean Voices basically started and was the only one talking about mental health and suicide,
Yes.
now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
Yes.
So, you guys continue to do the work that you're doing. You're making a significant difference. And, I'm trusting that we will have a continuous and fruitful relationship. Thank you to your viewers for their kind words of encouragement. And, in whatever way I can support your work and your initiative, I'm happy to do so.
Well, thank you very much, sir, and do have a very pleasant evening, and good luck in your test,
You too.
in your exam in a couple of days.
Thank
okay.
you very much.
All right, my brother. Take it
Thank you
easy,
very much.
and it's a pleasure again. Okay. So,
Same here.
all right. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it from for our viewers. That was Ganesh Singh, and I was so impressed with him. Here it is, this young man who. He became blind at a very young age, at 17 years old. He went to stay in Stanislaus College in Guyana. Then he went on to the University of Guyana, where he did a master's degree in social work. Right now, he is one of the leading guy for advocating for the disabled, especially for those who are blind. So we have to give this guy a round of applause for all that he is doing. And you know what? He has shown us, those of us who have vision, who can see, that there should be no barrier in all that we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and give some greetings out now. Just a few. I see C. Mendez Finch from all the way from Puerto Rico. My good friend, my competitor. He is a bird breeder there in Puerto Rico. John said, Namaste. Namaste, John. And I thank you very much for all that you do for the Caribbean Voice. Angela saying, thank you very much from Maryland. It's always nice having you on this program. So let's go to a nice song by our DJ. Let's go.
Oh gosh, I'm say, hey, me fretting up about me here I'm flexing. I'm say, hey, me frowning up on me here it wearing. Whoa. Every day, them a cry me down, but I just don't have fun. All me want is the music all night long. Play the music big and strong, 'cause I just don't have
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Caribbean Voice, the Mind-Body Connection. After we've talking to my friend Ganesh, I have a very special lady on the phone, Miss Neela. Neela is actually a member of the Caribbean Voice, and you know what? It's such a privilege to work with Neela. I've always been so generous, and you know what? I have like 3 generations watching the Caribbean Voice show, the Mind Body Connection. Herself, her mom, and her little daughter, Shreya. Well, thank you very much, Neela. You are on. Neela?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, you go ahead and talk, Neela. You are on to the Mind Body Connection, and you can tell our viewers some of the things that you do for the Caribbean Voice.
Hello, viewers. This is Neela. It's coming out of that interview that Ken did. That's a tough act to follow. But that was a very not entertaining interview, Ken, but an inspiring interview to see what that gentleman can do. And, you know, it makes me feel like, man, there's so much more we can do, you know, and help others. But what I'm happy of, that I'm proud to be a part of the Caribbean Voice. I've known members of the Caribbean Voice for over 30 years, but even though I'm new to the organization, I'm proud that I am part of a group of people that is so passionate about our cause. You know, suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and making people aware, give them a solution of those who are undergoing domestic abuse and child abuse, and to offer free counseling to all of these individuals. That's almost simply unheard of these days. Free counseling, that we need to do more of that. We need to train more people to be counselors, as we call it, the gatekeepers in our local communities where the government is not providing much solution. So, you know, there's a lot of work yet ahead that we have to do. And my position with the Caribbean Voice is really to help out with the social media aspect, to do promotion, and to do outreach to our local businesses, especially our Caribbean businesses that we all support here in the U.S. We're really going out to them and begging them to help us in our venture and to help us give back. And a lot of them, we've got very good responses. Just last week, I spoke to one of the companies. I'm getting some feedback, Ken. Are you hearing me clearly?
I am hearing you clearly.
Okay, good, yes. So just last week, I spoke to one of our supporters, Ron Ramnarine from Metropolitan Computers, and, you know, he's going to donate computers and printers and any kind of accessories to one of our projects that we're doing in Guyana. It's called Project Turnaround, and it's every year we pick a high school that we see that's failing, and we try to provide these high schools with equipment and resources that they can provide better services to the children. You know, a lot of these children are coming out of drug abuse, homes that, you know, are going through drug abuse or some kind of domestic violence, and they go to school, and this is where we can nurture people. And, you know, if you grow up in an environment that's with drugs and abuse and violence, that becomes the new norm. And people grow up thinking that's the new norm, so then we'll do drugs and commit, you know, crimes and all of that. So, you know, we're trying to turn these future for these children around. So we need to invest. A lot of organizations are investing in Guyana, and we are just one of them. And together, we will, you know, make lives better for some people. And, you know, suicide prevention is our business. Every little bit that we do counts.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Neela, thank you very much for your input. And, you know, you are such an asset to the Caribbean Voice. You know, it's always good to work with you. So we will move on to now another aspect. I want to tell our viewers how when you meet someone who's blind or disabled, how you deal with them. So thank you very much for your time, Neil, and we'll talk another time, okay?
Yes, Ken.
Take
Take
it-
care.
yes,
Thanks
thank
again,
you.
And good job.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about little when you meet someone who is blind, how you can deal with them. Also, I see Angela, Kanji girl, tune in. I see Mauricio Gomez locked in. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Caribbean Voice. Sheila Mangar saying, good evening, everyone. She says, let's see who else we can catch. I don't want to miss anyone. So let's talk. You know, there are lots of misconceptions around blindness. Many people are hesitant to interact with blind people, and despite an underlying desire to help, they hold themselves back to avoid an awkward encounter. And here it is, some of the things that you can do to help a blind person on a day-to-day basis, and some strategies you might want to steer clear of. Do include them. The most important thing you can do for a blind person, or any person really, is to be friendly in conversation. There is nothing worse than leaving someone out of a conversation. Just being there, especially when they can't see, nonverbal communication is the cue. So again, if you see a blind person, please don't leave them out. Keep them in the loop of things. Don't assume they are helpless. A lot of people believe that when they see someone that's blind, is that they are helpless. While blind people may require assistance in certain circumstances, don't always assume that because they cannot see, they are incapable of doing anything. Blind and visually impaired people learn to do some amazing things, as we have seen just now, without their sight, and they are often more independent than most of us you would want to think. Don't assume that they need help and with basic tasks that you would rely on your sight for them to perform. So don't, you know what, it's always good to ask them before you do something. Do communicate clearly with them, since they're not seeing because of their inability to interpret body language. It is very important to communicate clearly with your words when speaking to them in a regular conversation. Significant information and subliminal messages are often conveyed through the movements of your hands and the expression on our faces. Thus, it is crucial to compensate for this by using clear words and effective information. So here it is. Always, they can't read your body languages, but what you can do is to speak clearly and slowly. Don't do stupid things. Don't shout at them. They're not deaf. A lot of times you would want to shout at them and thinking they're deaf too. Don't touch them excessively. Nobody likes being touched by strangers. Don't ask stupid questions like, why do you ever bother getting your hairstyle? They go and see people, so don't worry. Let them do what they want to do. Don't give them backhanded compliments like, you don't look blind. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell them that kind of a thing. In short, apply some common sense and basic sensitivity when interacting with the blind and visually impaired people. Do speak directly to them. When you want to communicate with them, speak to them, not the person they are with, because sometimes they're with a friend or whatever it is. You want to communicate exactly to the blind person. There's nothing that frustrates blind people more than people thinking they are nonverbal or incapable of having conversations. Non-sighted people do not enjoy being treated as they are incompetent, so speak directly to them rather than their companion. Don't speak to their pet or the guide dog without consulting them first. Guide dogs are at work. They can be the difference between life or death in certain situations. They are trained to ignore outside distractions to focus solely on the job. No matter how cute they are, don't try to distract them off their game by touching them, whistling, or speaking to them. So this is very important. As you know, a lot of times you would see a blind person has a dog, and what you would want to do is that you would want to go play with the dog, touch the dog, or talk to the dog. No, you are distracting the dog from doing their job. Let's say hello to some people, and then after that we're going to be playing a song for you guys. I see Rita Jack there, Omar, locked on. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ranita said they are not helpless. The other sense are highlighted, and that is so true. Do you know that a lot of people who are blind, they're very talented, and a lot of times if you go on the ferry and so on in Guyana, they can sing. So let's go and hear a beautiful song by our DJ. Okay.
Firewood just get cheesy. She might don't want to see she anyway next to me. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. And he afraid that I light back she should have but she. Old firewood just get cheesy. Yo, it's the boy Mr. Bona. Over the factory. My ex-girl says she have a fella. Anytime he see me, he get pressure. My ex-girl says she have a fella. Anytime he see me, he get pressure. She say I just cause a plenty jealousy. She say I just cause a plenty jealousy. He don't want to see she going next to me. Cause he cold firewood. I don't want to see she anyway next to me. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. And he afraid that I lie back she should have but she. Old firewood just get cheesy. Tell him I don't have to worry, but anytime he see me, he get jittery. She tell him I don't have to worry, but anytime he see me, he get jittery. She tell him that nothing ain't gonna happen. She tell him that nothing ain't gonna happen. No matter what she telling me, they still frightened. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. She man don't want to see she anyway next to me. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. And he afraid that I light back she should have for she. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. Boy, you better take my advice. You have a nice girl, so treat she nice. Boy, you better take my advice. You have a nice girl, so treat she nice. You better trust the girl and make she feel good. You better trust the girl and make she feel good. Before I have to light back my firewood. And you old firewood just get cheesy. She man don't want to see she anyway next to me. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. And he afraid that I light back she should have but she. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. Old firewood just get cheesy. She man don't want to see she anyway next to me. Cause the old firewood just get cheesy. And he afraid that I light back she should have but she. Old firewood just get cheesy.
Good night and welcome again to the Caribbean Voice program, the Mind-Body Connection with your host, Ken Ramprasad. As you guys know, Shanaz Hussein is with me most of the time, but tonight she's not here. She's in Guyana doing some great things for the Caribbean Voice. I want to say hello to Danpal Puran, Thank you for tuning into the Mind Body Connection tonight. Also, I see Juliet Prasad, Indira Rambarose. With some comments I don't get to see on the screen, but I see some of them on my phone. So if I miss any of you, I am so sorry. But if you don't see, said your name, you can always comment again, and I could see it. Another thing, don't raise their awareness to new technology. Do raise their awareness to new technologies. There has been rapid development in vision innovation technology that is able to provide blind and visual impaired people with greater independence. Do tell them about new technologies, but remember they are probably more of an expert in technologies and support aid than you think. And guess what? We see tonight that these people, how capable they are and how much things they could do. Ganesh Singh is a true example of these statements. And don't compare. Blindness is just a single trait. It doesn't dictate personality or character traits or hobbies. Just because someone who is blind can do something independently or like audiobooks or dress in a certain way does not mean that someone else does it as well. Even within the non-sighted community, there are great diversity. So don't pull all of them in a single basket. Do lend a hand where appropriate. Getting into a car, taking the stairs, moving through tight spaces or crowded areas are all opportunities to offer a guiding arm. The key here is to offer help which they will accept or they will refuse. Don't go overboard in pushing them to accept your assistance if they do not want it. Again, don't force them to do things that they don't really want to do. Don't avoid common phrases unnecessarily despite popular opinions. Phrases such as "I'll see you later" or "it looks like," and in fact they use the same phrase themselves, but you do not have to follow up with an expression with an outlandish and a meaningless apology. Just leave it alone if you've said that. By taking these small steps outside your comfort zone, you may be well on the road to make someone's day. And you know what? You might just find yourself a new friend as well. Let's go to another song, and when we come back, I'm going to make some more announcements. And again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the Mind Body Connection here. Let's go.
Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. Never seen so many men ask you if you wanted to dance. They're looking for a little romance, given half a chance. I have never seen that dress you're wearing, or the highlights in your hair that catch your eye. I have been blind, lady in red is dancing with me, cheek to cheek. There's nobody here, it's just you and me. Where I wanna be, but I hardly know. This beauty by my side, I'll never forget the way you look tonight. Seen you looking so gorgeous as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. You were amazing. Never seen so many people want to be there by your side. And when you turn to me and smile, it took my breath away. I have never had such a lot of love as I do tonight. Lady in red is dancing with me, cheek to cheek. There's nobody here, it's just you and me. It's where I wanna be, but I hardly know this beauty by my side. I'll never forget the way you look tonight. I never will forget the way you look tonight. Lady in red, lady in red, lady in red, my lady in red.
Welcome to the Mind Body Connection with your host, Ken Ramprasad. Again, Shanaz will be here next Monday. I also want to add, and I was supposed to bring her on tonight, but time is against us. Zarina from Trinidad, you know what? She's making these backpacks for children for school and other essential like pencil, eraser, and so on. It's called the Crowd Fund to raise funds for purchase of backpack and other items. Can you help? And you know what? She wants us to share this information to help the children in Trinidad and Tobago who is less fortunate, who can afford to do this. And I always say it's always good to invest in children. You can reach her actually on Facebook. Let's see. Her number is on WhatsApp. It's 868-473-2063. Again, you can get her on WhatsApp, 868-473-2063. She's trying to make a difference in her homeland in Trinidad and Tobago. You can also contact us on Facebook, Anand or myself, Shanaz. Okay. Also, this final announcement for the night, the online survey we have going on social media to tackle suicide and abuse. The link, you can get it on thecaribbeanvoice.org. Also, the online petition calling on Guyana government to establish a registry for sex offenders. Please go and contribute to this site. Also, please don't forget you can always donate for our school project in Guyana. As Neela had just said, you can always donate to us, the Caribbean Voice, and we'll make sure that every cent that you donate would be going to a worthy cause in Guyana. Also, on September the 10th at 8 p.m., we will have a candle vigil for those for suicide prevention. It's Guyana around the world. So I want you guys to do this. We will have a special episode of the Mind Body Connection here in studio, and we are going to light our candle here. And we also encourage you to do the same. You can also, you know what, use whatever means you want to share the word for this. And you know what, it's our team for that program is working together to prevent suicide. Touch base with us, don't forget. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you very much for watching this program tonight. The episode, as you know, we were talking to Ganesh, who we said, and I'm going to remind you again, because it's such an important story. Ganesh was blind at 17 years old. He went on to do O-levels, went on to the University of Guyana, where he did a master's in social work. He also represents Guyana in blind cricket. So he have done so much things for Guyana and for himself. We are so proud of him. And I want to say, on behalf of the Caribbean Voice, all of us and to our viewers, we want to say thank you very much for tuning in to this program and for coming on to this program. Despite you're blind, I know you have an exam. We want to wish you all the best in the future, and I wish you that you can become somebody bigger than you are, and the sky is the limit. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in tonight to the Mind Body Connection. Good night. Good night. That's it.